Hi there ladies, as you may have seen in the title box, today we'll be talking about before you take the plunge for doing the big chop. I have a few key points here on my phone, so if you see me look down, just know that I just wrote them down on here to just, so I wouldn't lose track, so my video just wouldn't be me rambling on and on and on. But first point I want to talk to big chop or not to big chop. So firstly, to tell you what a big chop is when you're going to cut off all the damaged parts of your hair and only the new growth or the parts that have not been touched or damaged. When I say touched, I mean like chemically altered or anything like that. So for me, I first started off transitioning. Transitioning is when you just, as your hair grows out, you cut an inch or two off your hair. So it's pretty much like a gradual big chop. So I started off transitioning, and I would say I grew my hair about a good 3 to 4 inches before I decided to big chop. And I could have kept transitioning, but for me, I hated the look of my transitioning hair. Like, it was just nice and full and thick and just luxurious here. But as like the hair got outward, it was just all weary and damaged and thin. My hair looked sickly. My hair just looked like it was damaged and just terrible. So I just did not like the transitioning look for my hair anymore. So I just cut it off. Now, a lot of girls feel like to be completely natural, they have to big chop, which isn't necessarily true because I know a lot of girls who have big chopped their hair and their hair was not severely damaged at all, or their hair was not damaged, but they simply just wanted to I guess, start all over again and feel that natural feeling. But yeah, you only big chop really when your hair is extremely damaged. If you have chemically altered your hair, you may want to big chop simply because it's not healthy for your hair. And also, big chopping really is to just get rid of those dead ends of your hair so that your hair can grow fuller and nicer and healthier. I don't want to say it's a myth that when you cut your hair it grows longer. It's not necessarily that. It's just once you cut the dead ends off of your hair or you cut your hair, it starts to grow healthier, and healthy hair grows longer. So that's really what it is. My second point is the signs of damaged hair. Your hair will become damaged once you can feel two different textures of your hair. And what I mean by that is from your root to where it probably started at the damage, it will feel smooth and moist, and it doesn't feel dry and brittle like you feel it to break off. That's how my hair was when it was transitioning. Like towards the damaged parts of my hair, I could do like this with my hair and have a piece of my hair broken off from just the shaft of my hair, and it was just terrible. Another sign of damaged hair is you can tell by your ends. You can take try to take it. I know it's very hard to take one strand of your hair, but if you take a little piece of your hair and you pull down and you get to where your ends are, you can notice that your ends will be frayed. Like you'll have 2 or 3 pieces for one shaft, like one single shaft of your hair. Your ends are extremely damaged. For heat damage, that goes back to for your hair being brittle. It'll feel just really dry and fried. Like you can feel that your hair is fried. Yeah, that's just a few signs of damaged hair. For chemically damaged hair, you will lose your curl pattern automatically. No matter, they say you can wash relaxers or perms out of your hair. That's not true. Once you've chemically altered your hair a certain amount of times, even the first time, but after you've chemically altered it, it will not come back. Your curl pattern will not come back. And if you want it to come back, you're going to have to big chop or transition for your curl pattern to come back. So yeah, that's why I just say stay away from the cream crack. If you want your hair to be straight, just take that struggle and just straighten your hair out. That's the best way, but at the same time, you don't want to put too much heat on it because then it'll become heat damage. So there's no winning really, and there's really no winning in the situation. But hey, big chop versus transitioning, it's really up to you, honestly. I did a transition to a big chop. Many women just you know what, I'm not going through that. The faster I big chop it off, the faster I have my natural hair, which is true. The sooner you do it, You're on to being natural and going to get your natural curls back. But many women want to transition because it's hard letting go of that length of your hair, especially if you're not used to having short hair. That's kind of why I was transitioning, because my hair was about shoulder length. Like, it was like right here, and I was just like, I don't want to let it go. It's so, to me at the time, before I knew my hair was so damaged, I was like, it's so beautiful. It's just, it has length to it. But then, like, as I started looking into it, I'm like, my hair is damaged and ugly. I was like, oh my goodness, like, this is just terrible. I'm like, why did I let my hair look like this for so long? So then I decided to big chop. But yeah, it's all up to you. Transitioning, it just takes longer to get to your 100% natural state of your hair versus big chop. And your big chop is completely up to you. You do not have to go super, super short. For your big chop, you cut to where your hair, between your healthy hair and your damaged hair. You do not have to go as short as I did. I honestly went this short simply because I wasn't sure. Really, because I had one perm. It was a light perm or relaxer in my hair. So it kind of a little altered my hair, but I couldn't tell exactly where the natural state was. So what I did while transitioning, I just grew my hair out. And I knew I grew it about a good 3 to 4 inches. My hair has actually grown a lot. I don't know if you can see it, but it's grown a lot. My hair was actually right here when I big chopped it about a month ago. I'm a month into my big chop. It was like right there, and I grew about a half an inch. So, an inch and a half. So, yeah, just a little shout out to me. But yeah, so I decided to cut it down to be really short, just simply because I knew that was the new growth that I grew, and I knew that was not damaged at all. Like, no heat, no anything in it. That's why I cut mine that short. But your big chop is all up to you. But when you big chop or transition, just make sure you're cutting off damaged hair or chemically altered hair. That's just the correct way to do it. How to big chop. Like I said before, it's all up to you. Just do it from the damaged hair. And also, when you're cutting your hair, use, please, 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 use hair cutting scissors. Do not use paper cutting scissors. Only use hair scissors or hair shears, whatever they're really called. I'm sorry, I don't know the correct terminology for them. But do not use paper scissors, because paper scissors will ultimately cause your ends to be damaged even more. They will fray your ends, cause more split end damage. Terrible. Please, ladies, use hair cutting scissors. You can get them from the beauty supply store. You can get them from Sally's, which is also a beauty supply store, but you can get them from CVS. Just whatever you go to get the scissors, get them from the hair care aisle. You can pretty much get them from anywhere. Walmart, Myers. You can find them, okay? Please just use hair cutting shears. I cannot stress that enough, because it's just going to mess up your hair. And finally, what you should expect from your big chop. Okay, what I mean by this is, it is a big chop, ladies. So, your hair will be short, and especially if you have type 4 hair, you know your hair is going to have shrinkage. So when you big chop your hair, I recommend you cut it while it's wet, simply because you can tell where your curls are when it's wet, because they do shrink, and then you can tell where your damaged hair starts. So right in there, it's a name for that area. I'm so sorry, I cannot remember the name of it. But right where you see your damaged hair starts and your natural hair begins, you want to cut right there. And I did mine while it was wet, simply because when my hair straightens out, when I had my that damaged ends of my hair, those also began to curl too, but not the natural curl. So it was just hard for me to see it that way. So I did mine while it was wet. But yes, ladies, if you have type 4 hair, realize that it will shrink. So if you don't want your hair to be super, super short, don't cut it to where you want it to be. Cut it a little bit longer than what you would actually want your big chop to be, simply because it is going to shrink. And another thing to expect from your big chop is that you're going to have to do, you're either going to have to wear one in your teeny weeny afro, or you're going to have to twist it. And teeny weeny afro styles, or first big chop styles, take you forever to do. I'm not going to lie to you. Like, I do finger shingles slash coils, and that's just taking your hair like this, smoothing it with gel in your hands, doing like this, and boom, a curl will pop into your head. That's how you see these curls here. It's going to take you a good 3 hours to do. Some women, because they're just pros at it, they would do it in 2 hours. Mine, my first one, took me about 3 to 4 hours. And then one day I was tired and I did it, and it took me like 4 hours, 4 to 5 hours. So, you know, it's just all up to you. But yeah, but a perk to teeny weeny afro styles and big chop styles, they seem to last the longest. I've had this in my hair and it just now looks like I need to be do it over. I've had this in my hair for almost 2 weeks. 3 hours out of one day to have my hair like this for 2 weeks. I loved it. I simply loved it. And it's a perk for the big chop girls and the teeny weeny afro girls, because once your hair gets longer, it seems like the finger shingles and coils, of course they're going to take longer because your hair is longer, but they don't seem to look as fabulous as they do when your hair is in its first big chop style. So it's like, it's perks and, like, you know, disadvantages, but ultimately the goal is to have healthy hair. So big chopping, especially if your hair is damaged, ladies, just please get it over with. Just go ahead and just chop it off, because I guarantee you within 3 months you will be so happy that you did. Like me, I honestly didn't want a big chop because I'm like, how would I look with short hair? Like, I feel like I'll just look weird. My head may be too big. I'm like, I don't know. But I honestly am so glad that I did. I am extremely glad that I did. And I've honestly received more compliments on my hair being short than I did when it was long. Like, it's like, I don't know, it just, a big chop was like the right way to go for me. But that's, like I said, it's just for me. Some ladies may want to transition into getting their hair to the natural state simply because short length is just not for them. They can't do it. So, like, I understand that. But yeah, that's just the basics of a big chop. And if you guys have any questions or comments, please feel free to leave them below. I'm always open for constructive criticism. But yeah, I hope this was I was able to help ladies consider whether or not they want to get their big chop, what to expect from it. And also, I will be posting videos more on big chop, because this is just before you take the plunge, things you need to know. Okay? And I'll be doing videos on how to care for your big chop afterwards. Big chop hairstyles for the teeny weeny afro hairstyles. And also the first products I use while doing my big chop, and what I use while transitioning. I will also be posting transitioning videos. So yes, I hope this helped you ladies, and I hope to see you guys soon. See you.